Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jay. Here we go again. In here about to tint a old 2008 Subaru Impreza hatchback, except we're not tinting any of these windows. We're just doing the two front windows. I've already noticed that there was old tint on the front windows, so I gotta make sure to take that off before installing. Film is cutting. I'm not actually even sure if this vehicle is the one that's being cut. We'll find out. It's done now. So let's go and cut it and just get straight into it. Let's hope this is the right one. Hopefully this is the right one. Let me take off my jacket. The customer changed their mind. They went from wanting a larger install to wanting just the two front windows. Let's go ahead and clean these sides, which I have not yet done. This towel is actually a little damp, and I don't want that. I want it to be dry. Okay, I mean, it's dirty, but it's not too crazy. Yes, there's some stuff there, but I don't think that's gonna do too much transferring. It's likely not gonna transfer too much over as long as I stay on the cleaner side. But you saw that, that's this one right here. This new one. And then a second swipe. Right there. See how much dirtier this has already gotten? That's why I do it. And then you can even see, but there's like dust that's now picked up. So I gotta get all that off too. The reason why I do this is to make sure that the install is as contamination free as possible. Look at that. This is all the new stuff. The old stuff was mild compared to this. This is dirty, dirty. This is dusty, dusty. Okay. It has a dip in here. Like there's a lip on the inside here. This right here. That lip, lots of contamination. So I'm going in there and I'm grabbing that. Even though I'm hoping to cover this, and again, the reason why I cover the door panel, I'm not afraid of the water touching it. I think the engineers figured that part out, so I'm not concerned. What I am concerned with is the amount of contamination like this, and that's like what I'm seeing here, which you might not be able to see. There's tons of contamination there, and then all the contamination that's collected down inside the seal, right? I don't want to deal with any of that. So that's why I'm covering it. I'm not covering it because, oh, I don't want the panels to get wet. Don't concern yourself with that. Unless you're sloppy with the work, the thing stays wet, and it stays wet because for whatever reason it took you 30 minutes to finish installing that window, then yeah, cover it. But if it's gonna be wet for 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, you know, maybe 6 minutes, I'm not too concerned with that. The water is not gonna damage it. It's no different than you go into the drive-through, window down when it's raining, your panel gets wet, you're not tripping over it. I'm never tripping over it. And it dries out fine, doesn't it? Don't concern yourself too much with that unless you're like very new and you're just learning and you don't yet know how to properly tint to a point where you can tint efficiently and quickly, then yeah, cover it up. In my opinion, cover it up regardless because of the contamination. So cover it up regardless because of the contamination, if it can be covered up. Otherwise, don't stress it. À faire notre travail. Damn, like this was bad, man. This window's got contamination. Yikes. any one of these got into the film, it would have sucked. The car hasn't been cleaned in years. All right, that's as good as we're gonna get it. Let's go back to the other side and let's apply the film on the glass. You might already be able to see it, the tint on the glass on the passenger window. Driver's side window has scratches all on the inside. That's number one, but the glue is mostly gone. But there's scratches everywhere on the inside. Glue is everywhere on this window. Woo! I should have checked it while she was here. Once I saw this, I should have checked it immediately. Okay, not a problem. Cool. Let's talk about that in this video. What a great opportunity. This window looks clear. It is not. It has glue all over it. If you can see on this corner here, there used to be tint right here. This is a piece of tint. Tint was ripped off this window, not removed properly, and all the glue stayed on the glass. That's why you take your windows to a professional to get your window tint removed, because they will clean this all up. Either a tinter or a detailer will get this done properly. Now you have glue that has to be removed before we can install, because if we were to install on this clear glass, all the glue will show up as white. It's gonna look terrible. It looks so bad. So in this video, we're gonna be removing glue all over a window with nothing but soapy water, Windex, and a blade. All right, let's get to it because it's gonna get nasty. So let's get started in removing glue on this window. So exciting. What a good opportunity this is. I'm gonna cover up the door panels. Why am I covering up the door panels in this case, given what I just said? The reason why is because I'm going to be using a lot more water than if I was just installing it. Not a lot more, but I'm gonna be spraying a lot more. And on top of that, the glue removing is gonna be gunky, it's gonna come falling down, so I don't wanna get this whole thing messed up and completely drenched. Like I said before, when you're installing, if you're a person who's installing slowly and you're just soaking up the door panel, then it's gonna take you a while. Then you might wanna cover it up. Okay, so I'm gonna start from top to bottom. My blade is still fresh enough, I think, to make this easy, but I might need to change it for a sharper blade. But I go in patterns. All I've sprayed on it is soapy water. All you need is soapy water, sharp blade. And so unlike that side, I'm not sure how they were removing it, but they scratched up the window. You won't have that on this side. That's the other advantage of coming to somebody who might know what they were doing. The reason why this is so smooth is because the blade is so sharp. As I'm hoping you guys can see this glue. All of this glue. All of this glue. There you go. This is the glue that comes off of it. Imagine this getting inside the tint. This almost immediately ruins any tint. So you gotta get it off. And you should check as much as possible. Sometimes you just won't even know that it's there, and you'll tint and then you'll see it. Okay, well, I feel like that's not too bad. Try to wipe off all this glue, whatever glue remains on that door panel cover. Gonna wet it up. Let's do a full pass. Do a pass on the bottom. So far good. Yep, clean. Go below the seal. There you are. More glue. Even though, yeah, it's below the seal, but when you roll the window down and you roll the window back up, you know what I mean? You're gonna be dragging some things up with you, so might as well get it all. Now I'm satisfied. Cool. Rub it down. I think this is the wrong towel to use, but I think it'll work fine. And then let me squeegee what I can. Look for any glue that's staying behind. And there you have it. Give it a check. I should probably clean the outside here so I can really see clearly. Okay. Yeah, all right, cool. It's clean. I don't like that sound. I don't like that sound at all. Yeah, cool. So now just remove the glue from the top edge. All right, let me now clean or dry off my blade at least. Yes, this is the same towel I shouldn't be using, but it's fine. Dry off the blade so that it lasts longer. This blade has been lasting me for a good while and it's still sharp. I'm gonna use a different towel. I'm gonna wipe. I really do not see any glue remaining. Some tint still up there, old tint. Now, when I'm using this on the glass, I'm not using it straight with the blade, the sharp part straight on the glass. I am using it at an angle. And so I put it flat on the glass and bend the blade so that the blade is flat. And then I pick it up ever so slightly to bring it in, and then I cut. So I'm at a very It's like how you would, if you were to shave with a blade. That's how I'm using this blade on the glass. And on top of that, this is important to know. This is stainless steel, which is soft. Softer than this blade I use, which is carbon. And so this will definitely easily scratch the glass. While this, it's harder to scratch the glass. The glass is it's not harder than this blade, but you get what I mean. This is much harder than this blade. But we are looking good. So I'm going to complete this. Then we're gonna shrink the glass or shrink the film and then install. Hopefully I got it all. Now, I'm leaving the window rolled down because I've already cleaned the bottom. No sense in redoing any of that. Throw this on the glass. I'm going to just focus on this side, film this side, and then go do the other side without the camera running so I can listen to an ebook. And if you're wondering what ebook, I generally listen to either fantasy, sci-fi type of fictional stuff, but mostly I'm listening to business, strategy, entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, those kind of things. Now remember, because the window is rolled down already, I'm aware of this space here where there is nothing for the film to attach to. I will avoid that area like the plague, because if any heat touches here, it'll deform the film in a way that makes the film unusable. And I would have to then again restart. Because I don't have many fingers, I'm manufacturing them. I'm forcing them to come up. That's done. Okay, so let's get through this window. Because it's already been cleaned, so all there's left for me to do is to spray the glass, get it nice and wet, and then install it. So I'm going to redo the last step I did when I was cleaning it. So this is not just for rinsing out the sides. This serves two purposes. Number one purpose is to lubricate the edges. Lubricate, I don't know what other word to use. And then the secondary is to clean it. And depending on where you're at or who you are, you can reverse that role, it don't matter. It's just that we're just trying to get those sides wet so that the film slides in easier. Let me get this top hat wet. Rub down the top of the glass because there's always dust there. Unless the vehicle is brand spanking new. I'm gonna rinse off that top now. Just spray it down, spray the side of the car. And now, let's peel it back. Remember, this vehicle has a lot of contamination on it. On and around it. So we gotta be extra careful with that. This is gonna be harder than it looks, I think. Let's see if it does what I think it's gonna do. I'll keep it to myself. Okay, let me just get the top half on. I'm keeping this pulled away from the glass. Okay, it's not so bad. I'm going to bend this end and slide it in. This is why we wet the edges, the ends so much, because we just want it to easily slide in. We don't want it to go in and then get stuck because it starts to stick. And I'm going to straighten out my bottom to get rid of this big finger that's here, and then line the film up where I want it. Now let's just squeegee that. Cool. Now I'm not really pushing very hard on the glass just because the film is not really stuck down. Now I'm applying more pressure. And that's worked pretty well. I'm checking to see movement in the film. Because there isn't any, I'm going to squeegee down the side. I'm gonna first try using, the first time I use this, I think this is like a sidewinder or something. I push back on the glass and then I go, but it's actually really tight. So I'm gonna go for a smaller tool. The reason why I prefer the other one is because this one can sometimes scratch the glass, even if it feels completely smooth. And I do sand this one down. But when it comes to tightness, you don't mess around with that because you can pull the film back and then crease it. And then you are either going to have to chisel it or restart it. I know I have a bit of a lip here, there, so I'm going to micro edge. Take this, take that top. And now it looks factory. A little bit here too. There, right? Now the top looks factory. It looks like the glass came that way because the film goes right to the edge at the top. I'm just gonna file the edges because I don't like bringing a blade in there. So I just file the edges. A little bit off. This one is actually good. Just a little bit. Perfect. Beautiful top. If you want to really finish it off, you can grab, I'm gonna use this actually, and just go after the top. Because sometimes I find if it's not really, it looks like it's dry, or not dry, but stuck, and it feels like it's stuck, and then you roll it up. Sometimes I roll it back down because I see something, and then I have that stupid gap that I try so hard to avoid, and it's actually there after all that work. So push down on the top, you can heat seal this, like you can apply heat to it. Again, I'm not prepared, I forgot my heat gun back there. But you apply heat and then you like really try to stick it down. I'm actually pretty confident in this one. So let's just roll it up. And I know this top is really tight. Anyways, just finish this. I'm gonna pull in to release the tension on these corners. This one is stuck up, so I'm going to help it curl inwards. That's the best position for it. That way you can, or I can, and you can, pull the film back without causing too much more damage to the film. Okay. I'm gonna hold the film in place while I take off the rest of the backing sheet. And now we just want to be careful that this side doesn't stick to itself, because then again, it'll be ruined. And then I'm gonna wet that corner first, because again, I don't want it to stick to itself. I'm gonna lift up the edge, get the corner flat on the glass, and then push it into place. Same thing here, I'm gonna pull back a little bit, get the corner flat to the glass, and then push it in. If I need to, I can open it up if that's what it needs. Now, I'm at the point where I have to bring up the middle. Be careful because it might be stuck a little bit. There it is. Pull it up a little bit and then complete it. Pull up. Because you need it to be flat on the glass before you can attempt to get it underneath the seal. Pull a little bit on this side. And I'm going to push it down a little bit because my seal is open. And that's another good usage for this thing that I'm using, is that it opens up the seal nice. I really enjoy this tool. I might make one myself. Get one made for tint bolt actually. That might be a smart move. Squeegee out to the sides and then go over it entirely, because there's probably bubbles somewhere. There might be bubbles somewhere at the bottom. We're looking good. The film did install properly. We don't have any fingers on the inside that suddenly we're not expected to have, because now the film is properly in place. So I'm gonna go after my edges. I am coming back again, even though I know it's tight. I'm gonna come with this tool anyways, but I'm just gonna be careful that the film doesn't pull back on me. I'm gonna pull this in. I'm gonna open up that bottom seal. I'm gonna go through the bottom of this squeegee. Cool. Down the side here. Nice. Okay. I'm satisfied with that. I know I didn't get into the edges. I grab my thinner tool, and now I can bend it in a way where it's only really affecting a much smaller area. So if it does scratch, it'll scratch an area that is not often seen. That's why I like this tool. It allows me to get most of it, and where I can't get it, then I can manipulate and use this piece when I bend the edge of it so that I can really just get those sides and then not scratch it. Yeah, it's looking good. Cool. That's that. Take these off. Oh, you guys can see that, right? Can you see that? You see this guy coming up here? This finger? You don't want that. So the reason why fingers can really suck sometimes is because when they pull up like this, when the film opens up, right? The film, this is the glass, this is the film opens up and it curls in, and then you have a finger. That is like a suction. You heard what the stupid noise I just made? It's like a suction, and any contamination that is anywhere around there gets sucked into your film. And it sucks up, some of this is water, but this is all air. And it just sucks all the nonsense right up into your film, into your install. So I'm gonna wet it, I'm gonna push it down. And in this case, I'm going to, oh wait, let me use this tool actually. I'm going to go in and press it down. So I pushed it down, I held it down, I grabbed a skinny squeegee to get underneath the seal real easy, and then I grabbed it. Here's another one. I don't need to shrink these. I push it down. It's just that it's not properly sealed. If more came up and it just kept on coming up, then I'd look at shrinking it, because the more times they come up, the more potential contamination they're pulling up with them. And that's that, guys. This is done. So that was an install of a front window on a 2008 Impreza. It's looking pretty good. It's a 20%. The customer already had 5% on the back. And so, yeah, that's how that looks. That's how that's done. You remove the glue. If there's glue, check, right? If there's glue, remove all the glue and remove it to the very best of your ability. If there happens to be glue, hopefully there isn't. If there happens to be glue behind the film, I will definitely show you what that looks like, because it's a really ugly look. Anyway, so hope you learned something. Hopefully this was helpful for someone out there. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to comment in the comment section. Either I, or someone in the community will answer you. But yeah, good luck out there. If tinting a window was what you were intending to do today, or if trying to gain some knowledge and information on how a removal or something like that was done, I hope this helped. Have a good one.